Welcome to Mindful Moments. Nourish your mind on the go. This audio uses AI narration to present our original book analysis. Today, we're diving into Ina Garten's memoir. It's called Be Ready When the Luck Happens.
Yeah.
You probably know her as the Barefoot Contessa.
Oh, absolutely.
The queen of, delicious and approachable recipes.
Right.
But her journey to success wasn't exactly a straight line.
No.
She didn't start in a kitchen. She started in government work.
Really?
Yeah. So how did she go from crunching numbers to crafting these mouth-watering meals?
That's a great question. It's pretty fascinating, actually.
Yeah.
It all started with, a spontaneous purchase, really. A specialty food store called Barefoot Contessa. Kind of a leap of faith that really transformed her life.
Yeah, it's interesting because, she didn't set out to be this culinary icon.
Right.
Her childhood was actually the opposite of the warm, inviting world that she's created around food.
Yeah, you're right. She describes a very rigid upbringing. It was in Brooklyn, really focused on academic achievement, playtime, and even flavorful food were scarce.
Wow. So the Barefoot Contessa that we know and love, surrounded by all this delicious food, had a childhood where fun wasn't really a priority.
It's hard to imagine, right? That contrast, though, it might be why she was so drawn to cooking in the first place. It was this space for creativity and self-expression that was kind of missing in her early life.
Yeah.
Even that pink tea set that she treasured as a child,
Oh, yeah.
kind of hints at her future love of entertaining.
It's so interesting how those early experiences can shape us.
Yeah.
And speaking of shaping experiences, Garten's relationship with her husband, Jeffrey, huge role in her journey.
Absolutely.
They met young, and their early romance is full of these charming anecdotes, like their first date.
Oh, tell me about it.
She was underage and had never even been to a bar. She's the one who suggests they go for a drink.
Wow.
I know. How bold is that?
That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah. And then their early correspondence is super revealing.
Really?
Yeah. Jeffrey's thoughtful letters show the depth of their connection and his unwavering support, even when she makes unconventional choices, like buying that specialty food store.
Right.
That purchase was a major turning point.
I bet.
Garten describes seeing the ad for Barefoot Contessa in the New York Times. Small store in West Hampton Beach, a place she'd never even been.
Wow.
And she was immediately captivated, drawn in by the aroma of chocolate chip cookies baking.
Yeah.
She felt the sense of belonging she hadn't experienced before.
So it's that sensory experience, the warmth and the inviting aroma, that became the foundation for the Barefoot Contessa brand.
You got it. But this leap of faith wasn't exactly met with cheers from her family.
Oh, no.
Her parents were horrified. They saw it as a step down, going from government work to a shopkeeper.
Oh, I see.
But their disapproval only fueled her determination to succeed. She wasn't going back.
Good for her.
Those early days running Barefoot Contessa were a whirlwind. Long hours, unexpected challenges, steep learning curve.
It's trial by fire, almost.
Yeah. And it's during these chaotic early days that Jeffrey's support is just crucial.
I can imagine.
He reminds her that hard work is the antidote to boredom.
I love that.
Yeah, a perspective that reframes the challenges as opportunities for growth.
Makes sense.
And his actions actually speak even louder than his words.
Oh, how so?
He buys out entire bakeries just to keep up with the demand.
Wow, that's dedication.
Right.
That's amazing.
It's hilarious, but it shows the dedication it took to build Barefoot Contessa's early success.
You can really see her commitment to quality, too.
Yeah.
She was willing to go the extra mile. Literally, making weekly trips to New York City just to source the best ingredients.
So this dedication shines through in her descriptions of the Hamptons in the 1970s. It's a world away from her life in Washington, more relaxed, beachy atmosphere, where Barefoot Contessa becomes this community hub.
That's so cool. But that sense of community came with its own set of challenges, too, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Remember the story about the drug dealer who tried to tip her with cocaine?
Oh, gosh, yeah. It just shows that running a business, especially one so intertwined with the local scene, it brings unexpected encounters and a need to adapt.
Constantly adapting.
Yeah, and adaptability is a key theme in Garten's story. And perhaps the biggest test of her adaptability comes when the demanding schedule of Barefoot Contessa starts to put a strain on her marriage.
Oh, I see.
She describes breaking down, overwhelmed. And Jeffrey's response is remarkable. He doesn't try to fix the situation. He encourages her to go back to Washington, reconnect with her support system.
Wow, that's That's incredible. It's a powerful example of empathy, recognizing that their relationship needed to evolve alongside her personal growth.
Exactly, and she couldn't simply go back to traditional roles after that empowering experience of running her own business.
I can only imagine.
It's a relatable struggle, isn't it? Finding that balance between ambition and personal life, especially for women navigating these changing societal expectations.
Absolutely. It's so important.
So this separation marks a turning point for Garten, both personally and professionally. When she returns to the Hamptons, it's with this newfound clarity about her priorities and a deeper understanding of herself.
Right. That's when things really start to take off.
Yeah.
This time apart from Jeffrey becomes this period of intense self-discovery for her. She's forced to confront these long-held beliefs about family, ambition, and her own path in life.
Exactly. It's a crucial part of her journey.
For sure. So during this separation, she throws herself into renovating an old house. She gets her MBA. And she even finds time to host all these elaborate dinner parties, experimenting with recipes from Julia Child.
Wow, she was busy.
It's like she's laying the groundwork for what would become her signature style. Gourmet food, but approachable, and always shared with friends.
Right. It's interesting how even during this period of uncertainty, her love of food and entertaining, it just shines through.
Totally.
She's not just cooking, she's creating these experiences, these connections.
Yeah, and remember that story about the disastrous omelet party?
Oh, yeah.
It's a reminder that even the most experienced cooks have their mishaps.
For sure.
But it's also a lesson in adaptability. Garten learns to prioritize connection and ease over striving for perfection.
That makes sense.
It's a philosophy that you can see throughout her work.
So true. It's about enjoying the process, the shared experience, not getting caught up in the details.
Exactly. And that ability to adapt, it's essential as she navigates the next chapter of her life. Jeffrey gets a job at the White House.
Wow.
And they're living apart again, this time because of his demanding career.
It's amazing how they make it work.
It really is a testament to their commitment to each other's growth, their willingness to embrace unconventional arrangements to support each other's dreams. So true. It's remarkable how they maintain such a strong partnership despite the challenges.
Right.
And during this time apart, Garten doesn't just wait for things to happen. She keeps pursuing her own passions.
Of course, this is where her entrepreneurial spirit really shines. She tackles another house renovation, one that almost bankrupts them.
Oh, no.
It shows the risks and rewards of these ambitious projects. And remember how she financed the expansion of the original Barefoot Contessa? She drew inspiration from, get this, Robert Moses, the city planner.
Wow. I never would have thought of that.
She learned to be strategic, think outside the box, especially when it came to funding.
That's so cool. It's a great example of how she applies knowledge from all these different areas to her own endeavors.
Totally.
And that expanded Barefoot Contessa, it becomes a phenomenon.
1,000 baguettes a day. Those brownies that flew off the shelves despite their price.
Oh, yeah, those brownies are legendary.
Clearly, she's onto something special.
It's not just the food, though. It's the whole experience. Garten creates this community hub, a place where people come together, not just to shop, but to connect, share stories, even enjoy these impromptu performances.
I love that.
Remember Peter Yarrow?
Oh, yeah, what a cool story. It's fascinating how she transforms this small food store into a cultural destination.
For sure.
And she doesn't shy away from the challenges either. Remember that encounter with Gloria Steinem?
Oh, right.
It shows her commitment to empowering women. She even gets Steinem to speak to her young staff, inspiring the next generation.
That's amazing. But just when it seems like she's found her rhythm, life throws another curveball.
Uh-oh.
Jeffrey's offered a job in Tokyo, leading to yet another extended separation.
Oh, wow.
But this time, Garten uses the time to go deeper into self-reflection.
So she starts therapy.
Exactly. Exploring her childhood, confronting those ingrained beliefs about family and motherhood.
That's a brave and vulnerable journey.
Absolutely.
Unpacking those early experiences to understand how they shape our choices.
Right.
And it's during this time that she makes a huge decision. She decides to sell the original Barefoot Contessa.
Wow. That must have been a tough choice.
It's a big turning point.
She achieved so much with that store.
For sure.
But she also recognized the toll it was taking on her personal life.
Yeah, I get it.
Selling it represents a willingness to let go, to create space for something new.
And it's in that space, that uncertainty of what's next, that she finds a new passion. Writing cookbooks.
Of course. Remember her initial thought? that no one would even see the proposal.
Yes, so relatable.
That fear of putting your work out there.
Definitely.
But she pushes through and throws herself into the project. And the result? The Barefoot Contessa cookbook. A total hit. It captured the essence of her style, approachable, inviting.
It's a classic. And that story about the initial layout with no photos of her, the store, or even the food.
Yeah, that's wild.
It shows her evolving confidence and vision. She's claiming her space not just as a businesswoman, but as a creative force.
That's when the Food Network comes calling. They saw her star potential.
It's a natural fit.
Right.
But she was hesitant at first.
Really? Why?
She had a bad experience with television earlier in her career.
Ah, I see.
But Eileen Opatut, the network executive, she was persistent.
So what changed her mind?
The promise of a limited run.
Oh, interesting.
Just 13 episodes?
And thank goodness she did. The Barefoot Contessa TV show, it's a sensation, bringing her warmth, humor, and approachable cooking style to everyone.
It's a testament to her authenticity. She stays true to herself, creates a show that reflects her real life.
Her connection with Jeffrey, her friends.
And of course, her love for good food.
It's all there. But those early filming days were tough, long hours, multiple takes.
Oh, I can imagine.
It reminds you that even the most effortless seeming success takes work and dedication.
So true. And while she's doing all this, she's also renovating her dream apartment in Paris.
Wow, talk about a multitasking marvel.
I know, right?
That Parisian apartment becomes a symbol of her evolving lifestyle, her love of travel, beauty, elegance.
And it's more than just a place to live, it's a source of inspiration.
Of course.
She explores markets, discovers new foods, hosts all these gatherings.
It becomes this backdrop for a whole new chapter of experiences and connections.
It's amazing. But as she's embracing Parisian life, she's also juggling the demands of her growing career back home. Cookbooks selling like crazy, the show's a hit. She's always looking for ways to connect with her audience.
She launches one of the first food websites.
Yeah.
Recognizing the power of the internet, to reach a wider audience.
Smart move.
And she partners with a food company to create a line of frozen Barefoot Contessa meals.
Oh, wow. So she's making her gourmet approach accessible to, busy people.
Exactly. People who might not have time to cook from scratch.
That's brilliant.
It's really smart. She's involved every step of the way, though, making sure those frozen meals meet her standards.
As long as quality is key.
It shows her business savvy, her understanding of her brand. She's not just putting her name on something. It reflects the values and quality her audience expects.
And amidst all of this, she's navigating aging, finding balance in a life that's constantly in motion.
It's refreshing to hear her talk about hiring an assistant.
I know, right? She's always been so independent.
So hands-on.
But she recognizes that she can't do it all.
It's a reminder that asking for help is not a weakness.
For sure.
It's strength, self-awareness.
And Barbara, her assistant, becomes this essential part of her team.
Frees Garden up to focus on the creative stuff.
And then there's the barn, her dream workspace in East Hampton.
Oh, yeah. It's more than just a building.
Right.
It's a symbol of her freedom. No longer tied to the demands of a store, space to develop recipes, write, film her show, all steps from her home.
It's like a sanctuary for creativity.
And a gathering place for friends and colleagues.
It represents a culmination of her journey.
Where her passions and personal life just blend seamlessly.
And that passion is clear in everything she does. The recipes, the photography, the atmosphere of her show.
She's constantly evolving, too. Pushing herself to try new things. Remember that story about her friendship with Jennifer Garner?
Oh, yeah.
It highlights her ability to connect with people from all walks of life.
Shared values, a love of good food.
Exactly.
It's a reminder that genuine connections can happen anywhere.
And her support for Jeffrey throughout his career is incredible. From banking to government to academia.
They're each other's biggest fans.
Always celebrating achievements, offering support during challenges. Remember that story about the student asking Jeffrey if he's really the doofus he seems on the show?
Oh, that's hilarious.
It shows how much their on-screen dynamic is their real relationship.
That playful banter is part of their charm.
And even with global fame, she's stayed grounded, approachable, committed to her values. Remember how she turned to Instagram during the pandemic?
Oh, yeah. Sharing recipes, connecting with people during a tough time.
It's a perfect example of her adaptability, using her platform to bring people together.
And that viral Cosmo video, pure joy.
Right.
A reminder that even in tough times, there's lightness and connection.
And that talk with John Grisham, where he says his first book was a flop, It's a good reminder that success isn't always a straight line.
So important to remember.
Setbacks and rejections happen.
It's about perseverance, believing in yourself even when it's hard.
And it all goes back to that quote, "Be ready when the luck happens."
From Rob Marshall.
It perfectly sums up Ina Garten's approach to life. Hard work, taking risks, staying true to herself, open to new opportunities.
Her story is truly inspiring, a reminder that we can create lives filled with joy, meaning, connection, even when the path isn't clear.
It's more than a celebrity chef's story. It's a roadmap for a fulfilling life. Following passions, embracing challenges, being open to the unexpected.
Well, this deep dive into Be Ready When the Luck Happens has been a treat. If you want to learn more about Ina Garten's amazing journey and her insights on life, food, and finding your own path, we highly recommend reading the book. You can purchase it and support the channel using the link in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our deep dives. Happy reading.